I'm putting my extremely profoundly disabled 7-year-old into a residential facility so I can forget he exists. I'm not sorry. I can't tell anyone this, even my therapist. Lambast me if you want, and maybe I even deserve it. I only ask what you would do if you were in my situation. Not what you think people should do, what you would really do. I'm a single mom of 2 boys, 12 and 7. My husband passed away 3 years ago in a work accident. A very large portion of me believe it was a suicide. I can't see him ever making the mistake he made that caused his death. And he had taken an action just before that which ensured his co-workers weren't in the room. I fully believe he killed himself because of our younger son, and no one will ever change my mind. We were told when I was pregnant that he would have Down syndrome. We could handle that, even if it was severe. It turned out he has a chromosome deletion. His disorder is kind of rare, so I won't post which specific one, but suffice to say he'll never be anything more than he is now or has ever been. And what he is nothing. He doesn't appear to have any awareness, and never has. His eyes are locked in one position. He doesn't respond to noise, touch, or pain. He is total care. He is capable of nothing. He is tube-fed and on oxygen. He is in diapers, and will be forever. He makes no sounds, no attempts to communicate. He never even really cried as a baby. He has never made an attempt to interact with anyone or his environment. I'm not upset because I got a special needs/imperfect child. I feel the way I feel because this thing takes up 200% of my time and does nothing. I didn't get an imperfect child. I didn't get a child. I don't love him. He doesn't have any personality. There is nothing to love. And yet I'm responsible for him. In addition to his extreme delays, he's also medically fragile. Respiratory crises, fecal impactions, his autonomic nervous system doesn't function properly. Issues with his G-tube, infections, pressure sores no matter what we put him on or how we position him. Our older son has suffered because his non-existent brother has colored everything in his life. He's had medical care get delayed because there's only one of me, and his brother is more critical. We do have a visiting home nurse, but only 20 hours per week, and we aren't eligible for more. I was starting law school. I gave up my dreams and my plan for my children for this potato. My older son can't do a lot of things he wants to do because of the younger's need for care and appointments. The final straw was, I heard a sound. I went into younger son's room to check, thinking he had forgotten how to breathe again, and saw older son hitting him and screaming, "You're why I don't have a mother! You're why I don't have a father! You're why I can't have friends over! You're why I can't be in sports! I didn't ask for you and I hope you die!" Instead of being horrified, I watched. And younger son just did. Not react. No signs of pain or fear or upset. No reaction at all. He breathes, but he is not alive. He doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know who older son is. He has no sense of self, life experience, or awareness of his surroundings. He doesn't need to be in my home. He doesn't know or care where he is. He is genetically my son, but he is not family. My previously abused, brain-damaged cat who can't walk straight has more personality and is far more lovable than my child. In fact, I was looking forward to raising a Downs baby, even one with severe impairments for that reason. With disability can come gifts. This boy is not a gift. He is a genetic mistake I probably should have miscarried and would have definitely terminated if I'd known he would be like this. And the flip side is, if he has awareness, he's miserable, and there is nothing I can do. If he has likes and dislikes, no one knows what they are. If he is in pain, he can't tell anyone. If he wants anything, he can't communicate. He's had every imaginable therapy. Nothing has made a difference. And so he's leaving our home on the 29th. I feel excited and relieved and then guilty because I know we'll be happier with him gone. He's already taken my husband and my son's father. He was working so much OT to pay for the cucumber's care, for the experimental therapies insurance wouldn't cover, because this one was going to be the breakthrough. He was tired and defeated and disappointed. He sought counseling as well, but I don't think he could ever say the words, "I don't want my son in my home either." He's ruined my older son. I was so wrapped up on the younger I never realized how ignored and damaged he was. He lost his father too. I didn't just lose my husband. He is my priority now, and this malignant lump can be someone else's problem. At least they'll be paid a wage to care for him. At least they'll get a break from him when they punch out. I just want to never think of him. These were other people's reactions to the person's decision. User Barbara Rojas says, I worked 10 years in a facility for individuals with special needs, some being profound. All situations are different, and I saw with my own eyes families that were simply better because of our facility. No shame for you. None. Zero. Another user by the name of Rainy Lilac says, I work at a state institution. 75 years ago, the doctors would have taken the baby at birth and placed it in a residential hospital and told you to forget about it and move on. In your case, it would have been the right thing to do. Forgive yourself. Refocus on your son who you can have a future with. I know that mentality was wrong for 99% of the babies and children we got in the 1930s to 1950s, but not in this case. This case is exactly why state institutions need to exist. There has to be a place for people like this. I'm sorry you have carried this burden so long. You can heal from this. Good luck. User Chunk says, I work with profoundly disabled children every day, so I probably understand better than most. Unfortunately, in the vast majority of cases, a miraculous treatment for brain disease doesn't exist, especially if there was nothing there in the first place. Most times, the best you can hope for is to slow the progression of damage. I'm sorry for what your family has been through, and I wish the best for you. To which, user Husband Bulges responds, Exactly. A chromosome deletion this rare is not going to improve. A deleted user adds, Now this is going to sound fucked up, but that kid and kids, no people like him don't need to be alive. They should be allowed just to peacefully pass away like they would have done in nature. No natural argument isn't a great argument, as nature is savage and barbaric. But so is having what amounts to nothing more than a bag of flesh that has no hopes of being anything more consume someone's life. Hell, keeping someone who is this catatonic or similarly catatonic only so we can feel better about ourselves when they endure such a pitiful existence is kinda barbaric. User Lurker says, if I was this particular 7-year-old, I would probably want to die, and certainly wouldn't care where I was. Doesn't sound like there is any brain function, or ever was, or ever will be. Doesn't sound like there is a person there at all, or ever will be. If you apply the golden rule, treat others as you would want to be treated, I would have no problem putting your child in a residential treatment facility. Take care of yourself and your other child, like you said. It should have been done much sooner. A small family just can't cope with this kind of thing. You are doing the right thing. Modern medicine can keep someone's heart beating and keep them breathing, but it doesn't mean they are really alive. User Birdie from Detroit responds, I've already told my parents and future husband that if I ever become brain dead or a vegetable, please find me some way out of it. I wouldn't want to live like that, and I'm sure this kid doesn't either. I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. That's no life for the kid, the mother and brother. It's unfair. If this child has a consciousness, it's not a good one. The most controversial of all comments reads, There are no disorders that match the description you've given for the story of your younger son. No full course of prenatal screening for Down syndrome would result in a false positive belying some kind of monosomy or partial deletion. Even if it were possible, no chromosome deletion disorders match, or even roughly approximate the description you have given your younger son. Your story conflicts with itself, saying that he's never been anything more than he has been, unable to breathe or move his eyes. But at some point when he was younger, he never even really cried. It's difficult to imagine how you could mistake the sound of one child shouting and hitting another for a child silently suffocating. Given how anguished you were over restructuring your entire life for this child, it's hard to believe that over the course of 7 years, you somehow had the mental fortitude to repeatedly deny a palliative care option, an option that would see your son receive better medical care and make your life less stressful. How you must have actively chosen, likely against any reasonable doctor's recommendation, to pursue in-home care after your son's condition stabilized in the hospital. Let alone the idea that you were sold on any sort of hope for a breakthrough at all, this being a genetic disorder and everything. That being said, your story is moving, well-written, and brings up some powerful questions about what it means to love and what it means to be family. Next time, I'd suggest going with some kind of severe hydrocephaly or a neonatal permanent vegetative state brought on by asphyxiation or head trauma. Maybe you could add to the drama by blaming yourself for your child's ill health. Genetic disorders at the chromosomal level are pretty well documented and cannot cause such a targeted effect as PVS, so I'd recommend staying away from them.